Hi, welcome to or back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kyle. I'm a part-time artist here on YouTube and make videos documenting my art journey, setting up my art shop. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing how I make my art prints and sticker sheets to sell in my art shop. If you didn't know, I have my art shop open. I'll put a link below and here on the screen. Feel free to check it out. Just, I spent a lot of time setting it up and I love to get any feedback or hear what you have to say. So I've gotten a lot of comments in other videos asking kind of the different supplies I use, what printer I have, things like that. And so I thought that this would be like a nice place to put all that information and kind of share with you the different things that I've tested out and used along the way. So hopefully that if you are thinking about either starting your own art shop or just want to make prints or stickers, hopefully some of these tips and also just like what products I use might be able to help you. I know I've used a lot of different products that I've got recommended by other videos in the past, and some of them I've really liked and some I haven't. So I think putting out there like what products I use hopefully will help you. And in today's video, I'm not going to be going over like super in-depth my process of how I create my stickers or sticker sheets. I actually already have a video that goes over that if you're interested, where I talk about super in-depth stuff in Procreate, from the settings I use to how I create my borders on my stickers and sticker sheets to exporting and printing and cutting them using Silhouette Studio, and then going over some tips and tricks I've learned. So if you're interested in that type of video, feel free to check that out. I'll link it here. But in today's video, I'm going to talk a little more high level about the different types of sticker paper I use, the types of laminate I use, but then I am going to get a little more in depth into how I create my art prints. I'll show you in Procreate some of the settings I use, and then the different setup for my printer, and the printer I'm using, things like that. And before we get started with the specifics, I want to talk a little bit about printing at home versus getting a manufacturer and why I chose to print at home, and kind of some of the benefits and cons to both. So I think printing at home is really nice because obviously you can print on demand, or you can print in small batches if you don't know how well a product's gonna do, or if you're a smaller shop like me who just started. Some days or weeks, I just don't get any orders, so it seems almost like a waste to buy so many stickers or so many prints in bulk when I don't even know if I'm gonna sell them ever, because I feel you do save money when you're making it at home, but obviously the con is it takes a lot more time. Your products might not be as high quality, depending on how much money you have to invest in very high quality, sticker papers or printer or a cutting machine, that type of thing. So it just really depends. There's a trade-off obviously of your time, the quality, the money. So if you're gonna print at home, it generally is a lot more cost effective in my experience, but it does take a lot more time. And sometimes you're just a novice at doing this, and at the beginning your products might not be as professional looking as if you got them manufactured, for example. And I think over time, as you learn how to do this, you'll get better at that type of thing, but it's just something to keep in mind. I do think though that if you're starting a business and you don't know how well you're gonna do, I think printing at home is such a better option, at least for me, because again, you can print on demand. You don't have to order things in bulk. You don't have to guess which products are going to do well, or if you're going to sell any at all, type of thing. So it's just I think a lot more economical, although you do have to obviously invest in a printer, a cutting machine. I mean, if you're going to cut using a cutting machine, you guys cut by hand. You'll have to invest in those long-term investments beforehand. But obviously you'll have that for the time going forward. So it's only a one-time thing, but it is a big chunk of money at first. In terms of using a manufacturer, it is really nice because you save so much time obviously making the stickers and prints. You save an enormous amount of time, and obviously time is money. And if you have a full-time job or a family and you just don't have time to do this, that's obviously a very viable option. Again, I think the biggest drawback is to get your money's worth, you often have to buy in bulk or higher amounts. And so it's just really it's a risk obviously if you want to spend that money buying in bulk, and if you buy too much, you might be spending more money and not getting the money back than you would if you just bought a printer, for example, potentially. So it just really depends on what you're doing, and it also depends on how many products you have. I think if you print at home, you have the ability, at least in my mind, to have a lot more products because you don't have to get them manufactured. You don't have to guess are people going to buy these? You can just print on demand. So I think that's another thing to consider that I don't think a lot of people talk about in their videos is if you are starting out and you want to have a larger collection of products, or even 10 to 20, which is not that many, but if you need to manufacture 10 to 20 stickers, that's going to cost you a lot of money. And like, if you just print on demand, like, you don't need to spend all that money for those. Again, especially when starting out, I think this is like the bigger issue. Like, if you're already in a big name brand, well, you're probably not really watching this video. But if you are, comment below. But yeah, I think that like, if you're just starting out, this is like makes a lot more sense. And like, coming from someone who is just starting out, and this is all, obviously take everything that I'm saying with a grain of salt. This is all coming from someone who like is just starting out. This is just my experience. But I just want to share with you, obviously, a few of the different, I think, things that I thought about when I was thinking, do I want to get a manufacturer or do I want to print things at home? And again, like, this is obviously going to be very different for every person, but these are just some things that I think would be good to think about before you start this whole process. Okay, so now that I've talked about all that, let's get into the actual process and talking about the different supplies I use and everything to make my stickers. So I thought it would make sense to start with my stickers and sticker sheets just because I have that more in-depth video. So I think this section will be a little bit shorter. Here I just kind of want to go over the different products I use to create my stickers and sticker sheets. So to cut my stickers, I use a Silhouette Cameo 4. I think the Cameo 5 is out now, but this is like from a few years ago. And in general, I like the Silhouette. I think it's done a pretty good job cutting my stickers. It doesn't miscut too often. Okay, so now let's talk about the sticker sheet papers I use and laminates. So I actually use two different types of sticker paper for my die cut stickers and my sticker sheets. And the reason I do this is because for my die cut stickers, I like them to be on like a thicker sticker sheet paper and a little more glossy. And for the sticker sheets, I like it to be on like this more kind of a thin paper, since they're more meant for like journaling or sticking on books or on pages of paper, things like that. Whereas die cut stickers, I think, are more like, I want them to be more durable. I also laminate my die cut stickers, and I don't laminate my sticker sheets. Both of them I use a vinyl paper, and the reason I chose a vinyl paper is because I wanted them to be like semi-water resistant. And I think there's like a whole thing about like water resistance and water proof, and you know, if you can even make waterproof stickers at home. I know a lot of people are of the mindset of like, most people don't have waterproof ink, so you're never going to be able to make a waterproof sticker at home, so just keep that in mind. But I think if you like use vinyl paper and laminate them, like, you're going to get as close as you can get. Although a lot of times, like, people also say they're not weatherproof because you don't have UV proof ink. So I don't know, just take that with a grain of salt. But like, if you are like selling these, just like make sure to specify like what you're using. And this is the vinyl paper I use for my sticker sheets. It's Joyeza, I think is the brand. So it's vinyl sticker paper, premium matte. So I use matte sticker paper for my sticker sheets because I don't want them to be like super glossy. It's just like a personal preference. All the paper itself is like pretty smooth and not like kind of sticky-ish like how glossy paper gets, which is what I wanted in my sticker sheet paper. So for die cut stickers, what I use is Zerking. It's vinyl sticker sheet paper. It's considered glossy, but it's like not super glossy. It's also a lot thicker, and that's partly because there's like a cardstock type backing to it, but also the vinyl sticker itself is a little thicker than like this Joyeza paper, in my opinion. I also laminate my die cut stickers, and to laminate them, I use these Avery self-adhesive laminating sheets. These are really nice because they have this little peel off or peel here thing where you can, you know, peel off this little top part and then stick the laminate. What I do is I stick it both to like the table and part of my sticker sheet, so it's kind of like attached to both, so it's like kind of holding the sticker sheet in place. And then I use like a little squeegee type thing with felt on the top to smooth it out. It took a lot of practice for me to be able to do this right, but yeah, I'm glad that I do because it does provide an extra layer of protection, and it also gives them a little bit of a shine too and makes them feel a little thicker and nicer quality, in my opinion. I also sometimes use a holographic laminate for a couple stickers, and I don't remember the brand, but I'll put a little pop-up here of what they are. The other thing that I've done is I've chested out a bunch of these sticker sheet papers. I'm going to go over a couple of the bigger brands that I've tested out. I'll go over one for each of them. So for die cut stickers, I've also tested out this koala paper, and it's really nice quality. It's a lot, I feel like it's a lot more shiny and kind of like textured almost compared to the Zerking paper. And I ended up not using it because it was just like, it didn't really have the like sheen that I liked. It was a little too glossy, and again, like the texture was kind of weird. So I didn't end up using that paper, but it's a really good quality and a lot of people do use it. So I think that's one other one to like keep in mind. For sticker sheets, I also tried using this Online Labels paper. And it's pretty cheap, which is really nice. But the paper itself, like, honestly, when they sent it to me, I legitimately thought they sent me the wrong thing. I literally thought they sent me just like the paper to put inside like a filing cabinet like label or something, because it feels like it's very like scratchy and thick feeling, and it just feels like actual paper. It's actually the sticker paper if you ever ordered from Julianne Doodles. I think this is the one she used, and that's why I ordered it, because I thought like I'd want to try it out. I just don't like it because it's like it just feels like actual paper. Because it feels like you're just printing a sticker on like an actual sheet of paper, and it's just like too rough, and I don't personally like it. I think if you're making stickers for journaling, I think like this paper is really good. I think it seems like really good quality paper, just like not the type of paper I want to use. Alright, so let's move on now to how I make my prints. Okay, so for my prints, I basically design everything in Procreate, and then how I print mine is generally I just print it through, I have an Epson printer, and they have like an app that you can print things through. So I just print that through the app. There's a lot of adjustments you can do in there. Sometimes I have to adjust like the brightness or like the shadows or like color, things like that, to get my print to like look right when it prints. And that's just like something I have to play around with like each individual print, which is kind of annoying, but that's just like for the price you pay, I guess, when you're printing at home. So yeah, and I think you might have to do that anyway if you're using a printer, because like not everything prints perfectly. Although I think professional printers, like the printers they use, are a lot probably higher quality. Also in Procreate, I typically use a canvas size of 5,000 to 7,000 pixels, because my art prints are usually 5x7. Sometimes I use a little different canvas size, and then when I import them into the Epson printing app, I choose borders. You can choose borders or borderless, and I choose borders, and then it kind of like fits it to the page, and you can adjust like how it's fitting to the page by like enlarging it or making it smaller or bigger. So that's just something that I play around with if my print isn't exactly the right size. I use 600 DPI because one of the artists I watch, she recommended using 600 DPI, and so I do. But I think 300 is fine. I think most people use 300 DPI. And when I go to export the image, I generally just go to share, and I usually just select PNG. And then I just save it to my computer, and then I can open it wherever I want. The other thing I've done is I've actually printed from Procreate sometimes, depending on the print. I found printing in the Epson, like the Epson Print Center app is just better because like I can control a lot more things, especially with this little menu. But I have done that there as well. But generally after I export as a PNG, I just import it into this program and then just play around with it in here until I get the print settings right and just print it. So yeah, that brings me to the actual printer I'm using. I use an Epson ET2850. And the nice thing about this is it's an EcoTank printer, so it has like refillable inks. And I haven't had to refill the ink yet, which is really nice. And I printed like a lot of prints and stickers over the past like, few months or a year even. And I like still haven't had to refill the ink. The ink levels are starting to run low, so I will have to do it soon. But it's like not that big of a deal. Like it's not really a mess at all, which is really nice. Put in the ink bottle and then it just like drains. Like you don't have to like squeeze it in or anything or like worry about making a mess. It's like not that big of a deal. It's really nice. I think this is a really affordable printer. I think I got mine for like $250 off Amazon or something. It's not super expensive. I know a few other artists have them, which is, I think the reason I got mine was because Fructus Illustrations has one and she really likes it and her prints are really nice. And then also my friend Illustrating Christy also has it that I found out later, and she also really likes hers. I like mine, but I don't love it. Like I think it's a good printer I think it's a really good printer for the price. Like honestly, I think it's a really good deal. But you are gonna have probably some issues having to configure the different like print settings. I would definitely recommend it as like a starter printer if you're just starting this out. Like you can definitely print all your prints on this and like make them look great. Again, like go check out some of the artists I mentioned and like check out their prints and see if you like them, or mine I guess also. So I print on all matte paper. I've tried a bunch of different papers, and I think the two biggest brands that I've used are both from Amazon, and they're Finestra Arts and Pacific Inkjet. So I ended up using mostly Finestra Art paper for my matte paper for both my larger prints and my smaller prints. So yeah, these are the different papers I use. It's pretty thick paper. I think it's like 230 or maybe a little higher GSM. I've also tried using this like Epson brand paper, premium matte presentation paper. And this paper is really, really thin. It's only 165 GSM, so like it doesn't feel super high quality to me. And I mean, it's like nice paper, but I just like don't like the feel of it. It printed really well, I will say. Like the colors were a lot brighter on that paper than other papers I've used, which is really nice. So if you're just like framing something, I think that'd be a good thing to have. But if like you're using like an art like print like this, I like a thicker paper just because it feels a little more sturdy. That's just my personal preference. But I do think that's good paper too. But in regards to paper and the printer, I will say like the one biggest issue I have with the printer is there's so much configuration you need to do with the type of paper you're using and like the print setting that it's on. There's a bunch of different print settings for the paper. So like there's, I think like presentation matte, premium presentation matte, just like regular, like semi-glossy, ultra glossy, like things like that. And it's just like, you have to play around with it for different papers and even just the different prints. Sometimes some of the prints I will print on premium presentation matte and some I'll just print on presentation matte because the colors are just different for each of those. Same with the sticker paper, which I didn't talk about yet, but the sticker paper itself, for like the die cut stickers, since they're like a glossy vinyl, I have to print them on semi-gloss. I find if I print them on glossy, they just like look too oversaturated or something. I just don't like how they look. So I've used semi-gloss for those. But then for the other vinyl paper, the sticker sheet paper that's more of a matte vinyl, I use premium presentation matte, I believe. So it's just like, I have to just like use different, you have to test out different settings for this printer, which is kind of annoying. And again, it can be at the specific like actual art print level, like different like pieces will require different settings, which is like really strange. So it's a lot of testing and you're gonna like run through paper if you do too much testing. I found that like one of the things I've had to do is kind of like shrink the image and test it on the same piece of paper multiple times. And honestly, the print setting thing might be something you have to do with every printer. This is the only print I really ever had for art prints. So I don't know, that might be something that just is standard. But it's just something to keep in mind that like you're gonna have to go through a lot of trial and error for each different print probably. So yeah, but I think it's a really good printer. So, oh, and one thing I forgot to mention is it's a pretty fast printer. I think it prints like well, I guess depending on what you are printing, obviously. But like for a small 5x7 print, for example, my cat print that I printed, I think it took about like about a minute to print. So like I feel like that's not super long. Again, maybe I haven't ever had a different printer before, so like maybe that is long. But I feel like it's not that bad. And for sticker sheets that are pretty complicated, for example, or even just like die cut stickers where I put a bunch on the page, it'll usually take between like a minute and 2 minutes at most to print them. So I feel like that's like a decent amount of time. Again, it just depends, I guess, on like the detail of your print and like what you're printing, but I feel like it's a pretty fast printer, at least for me, and I haven't had too many problems with it in that sense. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video and I hope it was helpful if you're thinking about, you know, making your own prints or stickers, and, you know, trying to decide on different papers to use or the printer to get, that type of thing. If I left anything out or if you have any comments or anything you'd like to share, please feel free to comment below. I love reading all my comments. And yeah, I hope this is helpful. And if you like this video, please consider liking the video. And if you want more videos like this, kind of describing how I run my shop, different like how-to type things, and just like my art journey in general, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. Yeah, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night, and I will see you next time. Bye.